there are so many jobs. Early years is really, really booming in China, and I think that you would never regret going to China. I think it was one of the most positive things I ever did. And remember, I was leaving my family as well to go to China. And while I was there, especially when I was there for the 4 months, my family came to visit. So it wasn't just an opportunity for me. My 2 eldest children came to visit, and my husband came to visit. So it's an opportunity, you know, as part of my job, I was given a 2-bedroom apartment with 2 bathrooms. So of course I could offer that opportunity to other people to come and use the other bedroom and use the bathroom and come out and see what China's like. I think that every single school or every single education establishment in China wants English-speaking teachers. I think that they are a priority because every family in China is rising up. You know, the opportunities and the developments in China are such that they want English-speaking teachers. They want people around their children who are going to be able to converse with their children in English. Now, at the kindergarten I was working in, there were as many reading books in English as there were in Chinese. So I could go to the library and get as many books out to read to the children. I wasn't expected to read to the children in Chinese. I could go to the library and get out books and read to the children in English. So there are many, many kindergartens and many, many schools who are always searching for teachers. Even students that have just finished their degree, maybe they don't know yet what they want to do, to go out for a year, go out for 6 months, to get that experience of another culture, a different kind of experience than you would here in England or in Europe. And all I would say to you is it's such a good experience. It will really open your eyes. The biggest challenges for me were, this is going to sound quite negative, were because I was in the city with the pollution. So not being able to see the sky, the lovely blue sky and the stars, you wouldn't think that was such an important thing. But it was amazing that when the factories were closed for 2 or 3 days, so sometimes when there was a holiday, the harvest holiday or the spring holiday, and the factories were closed, you would suddenly see the pollution clearing and you would be able to see the sky, and that was amazing. And of course, going out of the city to the forest, you could see there was far less pollution there, and I think that was another reason why parents wanted to get their children out of the city. That's an important reason in China. Get those children who are living in the city out of the city for fresher air, because the forest is full of air that is much cleaner than the air in the city. Did you ever leave the city for fun, just to do your own thing? Yes. Yeah. Yes, I went to all sorts of. I went on lots of visits because I think while you're in a country, it's important to go and visit lots of other places. So I went on day trips, and I went away for weekends to all sorts of different places. Is it hard to do, to get out of the city? No, it's very easy to do because of all this new infrastructure that they've put in. It's very easy to travel to all sorts of different places. And again, going on trains that have an upstairs I've never been on a train with an upstairs before. That was quite unique. That was quite different. So travelling I found exciting, really exciting, and going to see some of the culture of the city, of the surrounding areas, and meeting people who didn't live in the city, to see what's the difference, to go and see another part of China. I didn't find that to be a difficulty, because there are so many other people who, when they hear you speak in English, I went to one part of China and we were actually visiting underground caves, and while I was in there, obviously there was a lot of echoing, and somebody obviously heard my voice echoing, this English voice echoing, and they immediately were like really, really interested, and I was surrounded by lots and lots of people that wanted to speak to me in English. So I never found it a difficulty. Students, this could be their first ever career move. As an academic, working in the education field, what would you say to them about if they get the opportunity, they can stay here in England as their first thing to do, or they can go abroad? I would say go abroad, definitely. And if there's an opportunity to go to China, choose China. Because you will have an experience that teaches you so much. I went there, I've been working in this field for many, many years. I learnt so many things from China, to the point where I'm now putting together a new book. I'm going to be writing a new book, so this will be my third or fourth book. It's called Conversations with China, and it's about all sorts of different things that I spoke to parents about, I spoke to grandparents about, I spoke to teachers. This is about how's childhood changing in China. Yeah. And I think if you were a student going out to China, you would learn so much on top of your degree. They're going to learn to, you're going to have to problem solve yourself, which is, sometimes that you don't have to do that so much here in England. They're going to gain new relationships with all sorts of people from, I didn't just make relationships with Chinese families, I also made relationships with people that were working out there from Denmark, from Finland. I made relationships with people who were from America, who were all out there working in China. So it's not just the relationships that you make with the Chinese while you're there. It's relationships with all sorts of other people, and it's their experiences. It's their, I spoke to them about their training, about the other settings that they'd worked in their own countries. So there's so much that you can gain from working in China. Financially, it was a good move for me. I think it depends on your current situation. I think they pay well in China, because they pay more for English-speaking teachers than they do for native Chinese teachers, although many of those Chinese native-speaking teachers have degrees and MAs. So you're working with a team of people who are highly qualified, which you don't always do in England. Children are children the world over. I found their children to be as delightful as I found any children to be in England. Their children are very, very keen to converse with English-speaking teachers. So I think financially, I think most students in their first or second job would be better, have a better experience financially in China than they would here in England. I think if I was employing somebody and they came to me and they showed me or they sent their CV and they had been to university, but then they had gone on and they had gained some experience working in other countries, not just in China, but perhaps other countries, that would show me that actually this was somebody who was really, really serious about their own improving themselves, not just in terms of their academics, but improving themselves in terms of their communication skills, in terms of their working with other people, because working with different cultures teaches you a lot about yourself. And I think that most employers would see that as a really positive thing, to have gone and worked abroad.
Would you ever do it again?
Most definitely. I would definitely do it again. I've been 4 times, and I hope in the next few years I'll have the opportunity to go again. Whether that's as a guest, because many of the families that I have been working with have invited me to go and stay with them, There's one grandparent that's always asking me to go and stay with her and go on holiday with her to different parts of China, so I might do that. But I would love to go and work with some of those teachers and some of the settings again. It was a fantastic opportunity.